enough of the poltergeist shit. Because let me tell you, I told the ghosts in this house to go into the light, and they haven't gone into the light yet. Welcome. This is the blog in which I talk about the house and the ghosts in the house. I thought I'd start first with a smidgen on the house history. According to my boyfriend, the house is a craftsman cottage house, which would put the building of the house sometime between 1900 and 1916. Most likely, based on this house, it would be between 1900 and 1908. That's if it's a craftsman cottage, which I guess we'll take his word on. One of the more peculiar features of the house, which in its day was quite the norm, is in the entryway. Right now we're sitting in the living room, which would probably have been called the sitting room or the parlor in its day, with the dining room to our left. The entryway is to my right. The entryway is the front door, which we don't use because we always come in the back door, and right there is the front hall closet and sort of just like a little room where probably they had like a table or a coat rack to put your coats, your hats, whatever you brought with you. And then right adjacent to that is the doorway into the living room. That doorway is a rather large doorway. The reason it was a rather large doorway as compared to what we would normally consider a doorway is because they had to get the coffin in through the front door, around the corner, and into the sitting room or parlor. That's right, because once upon a time we didn't have our wakes and our funerals in the church or the funeral parlor. We had them in our living rooms. So where I'm sitting right now doing this blog, there's a good chance that there was once a coffin in here with a dead person and a bunch of people coming for a funeral. Lovely. Let's move on to the ghosts. The one ghost that we know and has been identified in the house actually used to live in the house, and his name is Michael Mason. We know who he is for a couple reasons. First of all, my boyfriend's family has lived in the area forever, basically. I'm not kidding. His mother still lives in the house across the street, which is the house he grew up in. The Masons lived in this house at some point, and my boyfriend's older sister actually dated the ghost in question, Michael. Michael committed suicide when he was about 15 or 16, and he did so about 100 feet that way in a ravine. There's a ravine down there with a little creek, or as people in Jersey call it, crick. And he basically drove his car down there and did the carbon monoxide thing, killed himself in his car. The boyfriend's older brother was his friend, and he sort of seems to be the one that triggered Michael's resurgence in the house, because he comes down frequently to help out at the farm, which is my boyfriend's family business, and the farm being across the street from us. The guest room upstairs where my boyfriend's brother stays just happened to be Michael's old room, and his brother coming down seemed to have been a pretty big trigger or catalyst for Michael coming out of his shell, you could say. We know it's him because of that reason and the fact that he haunts his room upstairs, but the larger reason because he's actually been seen by people who know him and can recognize him by face to say, hey, I just saw Michael's ghost. There's two more ghosts that we know of that come into the house, and these are believed to be the ghosts of two children. We've been told this by psychics, and we've actually experienced them, which I will get to a little later. The ghost children, we don't know if they were connected to this house, a nearby house. As I said, the boyfriend's mother's house across the street is, or I haven't said it, but is much older than this house. We're talking, it has servants' quarters on the back of it, old. The house across the way is also equally as old. We don't know if the ghost children are attached to one of those houses, if they are attached to a house that used to be here, if they are attached to the land in some way. It's kind of a project one day I hope to undertake, to go to like the county archives, county libraries, and research this house as well as the land and all the houses that were here. But first we need to finish projects currently on my plate before we go do that.